friends. My name is Steve and this is Steve Talks Books. This is my weekly update where I talk about what I've been reading, what I'm going to read, stuff that's going on the channel, and some other fun topics from time to time. If you're new to the channel, I generally read horror and grimdark, but I'm open to any genre. I have plans to read thrillers and some other types of some books, so I'm open to reading anything, but those are my two comfort genres, is horror and grimdark. I also like to talk to people. I like to hear their stories. I like to have conversations with them. So that's why you see lots of conversation videos on the channel. I like to talk to people, learn new things, and hear about their stories and what they've been through. So this week, I finished Idles Fall. It's the last book in the Iconoclast series. I read this series with Epic Tales. Go check out his channel. And after every book, we had a meetup with author Mike Schell. So I'll talk about that meetup that we had for Idles Fall here in a minute. I also read The Hay Bale by Priscilla Bettis. Some of you, that name I'm sure sounds familiar to some of you because Priscilla is a big supporter in the BookTube community. And I also I started Best Served Cold by Joe Abercrombie. I'm buddy reading this with Yolene from Yolene Reads. She is hosting the meetups for this series and the trilogy after the standalone, First Law standalone. So we started Best Served Cold and we'll be meeting on her channel next month. So this week, I'll be reading Best Served Cold. I'll be finishing that. And I'll also be starting O Pain by Kyle Winkler. It's our short story Saturday book of the month. We'll be having a meetup with Kyle Winkler and Lauren from Paperback Empire, and anyone else who wants to join us next Saturday to discuss each story in that book one by one. So I'm really looking forward to that. So I'll be starting that book, reading maybe a short story a day or so, writing down my thoughts and kind of getting ready for that. After finishing O Pain, I'll be starting Edge of the Breach by Halo Scott. I am reading that entire series, starting with book 1 this month, and at the end, I'll be having a meetup with author Halo Scott to discuss the entire series, and of course, I'm sure have a great time because Halo is awesome. So last week on the channel, we did have a meetup with Mike Schell and booktuber Epic Tales. I did read the Iconoclast series with Epic. We had a meetup with Mike after every book, and for the final one, it's one of the funnest times on BookTube I've had. One of the coolest things is Mike Schell is working on the next book following the events of Idles Fall, taking place about 200 years in the future after the events of Idles Fall. And he read the first 2,000 words to us from the book that he's writing. He had just started it. So that was, it's one of those moments that you just want to soak up. So that is available on the podcast, on my podcast. So I will leave that link down below if you want to check that out. Just you can download direct from the Buzzsprout site, or you can choose whichever platform you prefer. So you can check that out. The video is being edited by Epic because we have about an hour-long video, and Epic's going to use his Epic editing skills. And I think he's going to create a spoiler version and a non-spoiler version and work his magic on that video. So keep your eyes peeled for that. That'll be an Epic's channel here soon. I'm sure he's working on that now. Also last week, I did release the Gunmetal Gods Let's Talk About, and I don't really like to name them reviews because they're not really reviews, they're more just kind of discussions. So I did release that. I loved Gunmetal Gods. For those of you who have seen that, seen that video or just heard me talk about it in the past week or so. And this week on the channel, I will be having an author conversation with Sarah Chorn. She's an author, blogger, reviewer, editor, does a bit of everything. We had planned it last week, but we had to reschedule because some stuff came up. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Also next weekend, I'll be talking with Eldri Daughtry about his work and his books. Keep your eyes and ears peeled for that one as well. And on Sunday, we'll be having our meetup for Gunmetal Gods with Zamil Akhtar and some friends. So that is early Sunday morning because of the time difference. We had to meet a little earlier than usual. And we're also having our meetup for Ghost City Girl with Lauren from Paperback Empire and Stacy from Stacy's All Booked. So I'm really looking forward to both of those. It's going to be a great Sunday morning. We've been planning it for a long time, so going to be good stuff. I also have my reviews or discussions for The Hay Bale by Priscilla Bettis and Ghost City Girl this week on the channel. Those will both be spoiler free, so you can watch those and not worry about being spoiled. So no new books this week. Haven't had anyone send me any requests to read off their books, which is kind of a bummer, but it comes and goes. So maybe someone will reach out and tell me about a book they're going to be released and I can talk about it. So no new books, but just a reminder that this Saturday is Short Story Saturday, this Saturday coming up for O Pain by Kyle Winkler. It's a small book, so there's still time to jump on that. And of course, if you don't want to join on stream, You can always interact with us on the chat, so that's always an option for anyone who's not comfortable being on camera. I have been looking into ways to help out the podcast, to kind of get a little bit more traction for that. Just a reminder, all the discussions and conversations and interviews I have are all available there on the podcast for you to download. It's free. You can download, listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, some other ones that I never remember. So check that out if that sounds interesting to you. I know not everyone can watch these long videos on YouTube, so I have the audio podcast as an option. And because I spend time and money on the hosting and everything else for the podcast, I was trying to look into ways to help promote the podcast a little bit, and of course the channel here on YouTube. But so I've been kind of tossing ideas around, and I've actually been thinking about starting a Facebook page. I've never used Facebook, and so I hate to do that, but everywhere I look, people tell me that's the place to go to help promote your content. So I don't know. Also, I've been looking into ways to, in addition to looking into ways to help promote, I've also been looking into guests that I've been inviting. I sent out some requests this week to come on and have a chat. So cross your fingers for me that they'll respond at all, even if it's a no. But if you don't take a swing, then what's going to happen. So I figured I'll go for it and see what happens. So. Good stuff. I'm trying to space these conversations out more so they don't overlap each other, but I'm still working on that. So bear with me. And speaking of conversations, I'm planning on releasing a conversation clip maybe once a week or something. And I had been thinking about doing it every day for a month, for like 5 minutes or less from old conversations to help kind of, for those of you who don't listen to the long ones. And, I try to get these 5 to 10 minute ones out occasionally, and I'm surprised that they don't really do that well. So I'm not sure if it's worth doing. Let me know what you think of those, if the clips are helpful for you or not, because I kind of wonder if I'm wasting my time doing that. The longer form ones usually do better. So I hope all of you are having a great week, and let me know down below what you've been reading, watching, and listening to. I always like to hear from you and what you've been up to. It helps me find new stuff to take up my time to watch, listen, and read. So it's always a good thing. So this week I had been listening to this band I found. I wanted to tell you about Nathaniel Rateliff. It's described as folk, Americana, vintage, rhythm, and blues. So I will leave that down below for anyone who wants to check that out. So maybe it's just been because I've been sick lately, but I've been veering more towards the more relaxed kind of music. So I've been listening to kind of the rhythm and blues kind of thing, and kind of you get that you're not feeling well kind of music. So I'm still battling this COVID stuff. I went back to work this week, and when I was on the first day I went back, I felt like I ran a marathon, and then I started feeling better, and then I still felt a little tired, but after a little bit of after going to work all week, I had a coughing fit Friday in the middle of the night, and I couldn't stop coughing. And so that made my lungs really raw, and your stomach gets sore because you cough so much, and so I think that kind of set me back because I feel worse now. Not bad, not on the. I'm not even close to where I was, but I feel like a couple steps back. So let me know down below what you've been up to. Let me know how you're doing, how you feeling, staying safe out there. It is spreading like crazy, so be careful out there. If you want to connect with me, the best place is on our website. We have forums, blogs, event calendar. Come by, say hello. That's the best place to find me. You can also find me on Vero. That's my personal, where I post my personal stuff. Or my book focused Twitter is Steve Talks Books. You can connect with me there as well. So also, like I mentioned, the podcast is available, so I'll leave that link down below if you want to check out any of the audio podcasts. I always appreciate when people leave reviews. I think I'm a review or two away from them being visible on Apple Podcasts. So if you have a chance, if you can leave a review, I would really appreciate it. So thanks for spending a few minutes of your day with me. I really appreciate you coming by, saying hello, and interacting. I hope all of you are doing great. We will talk to you soon.